everyone, it is here. I have been focusing a lot on trying to find like new builds for Blood Knight, and farming has been one of them. I've been farming a lot on and off stream, and I've been having a lot of questions to do like this video. So let's dive into my crazy infinite dash build that pretty much like you just like dashing all the freaking time. Like, look at this. This is like insane mobility. It is very different than anything else that I ever played. However, it is just like so much fun. So let's go into the skills very quickly. The Ravage is the skill that we're gonna be able to output even more damage whenever like we have like an elite mob or something like that. The Spear Flirt is gonna be our first dash. We have the Screwer, our second dash, and we have the Whirling Strike, which is gonna be our third dash. Then we also have the Shroud of the Night, which pretty much is gonna mimic every time that we use the skills and add like that extra damage. It is very good. So dive into the answers. We are using the Syrian Green, which pretty much gonna increase the charges of the Whirling Strike by 1. Also gonna reduce the cooldown that we have and create more damage. Then we're using the Cracked Spirit, that if you read it here, the Shroud of the Night pretty much gonna mimic every time you use a skill. So if I dash and if I use like the Screwer or something like that, it's just gonna mimic and gonna do like double damage. It is very good. Then we have here the Furnace. This shoulder is gonna make that your Spear Flurry is gonna cause like a bleed on it. Then we have the Excessive Exuberance. Man, this is my favorite instance like on Blood Knight by far. It's gonna make that your Spear Flood is gonna become a dash, but the crazy part it is this: using other skills instantly refresh one charge. So if you guys don't understand what I'm talking about, it is pretty much we have 3 charges. So if I use like, imagine 3 in a row, then I use a skill, I use another one, I use a skill, I use another one, I use a skill, I use another one, and this is what it happens. So this is what is the reason why we are always pretty much like infinite dashing. It is absolutely great. It is really fun. It is very fast, and I'm in love with it. So here on the main end, we're using the Carmine Advance, that pretty much our Screwer is gonna become a dash. Then we are using the Indulgent Calligrapher, that the Whirling Strike is gonna also become a dash that you can use 3 times, and whenever you hit the target, is gonna apply a bleed. Now here for the offense, we're using the Dangling Tier, which pretty much gonna increase the damage of your Ravage because it's gonna empower, it's gonna create a AoE. So whenever you use like an ability, you're gonna see this purple effect. It means like pretty much like you're gonna have like your empowered Ravage, otherwise it looks like this. But whenever every time you use a skill, you have the empowered. It can stack up to 6 times. It is absolutely great. I love it. Then we have here the Fairman's Lantern, that also the Ravage is gonna create an additional damage to bleeding enemies. And remember, like we're gonna be adding bleeds like non-stop because we are using the Fairmans. Whenever you hit them with a Spear Flood, you're gonna add the bleed. So it is like pretty much like easy damage. So another thing like is very important whenever you are trying to farm as fast as you can, it is gonna be the movement speed. Right now I have 19% movement speed, so I'm having like 10% from my Bloodsoaked Jade, that if you see here, the Bloodsoaked Jade is gonna increase your passive movement speed by 10%. I'm using 2 SA runes that is gonna increase here the movement speed by 3%, so it's gonna be 16%. And then I'm using this necklace that is gonna give me 3% movement speed. If I wanted to go for the 20%, probably I needed to change the ring, but it is completely fine. But one important, very important thing that I want to mention, and if you guys don't have this is like absolutely insane when it comes like to just instant farming and be as fast as you can, especially on a Blood Knight, because you don't have a sprint or you don't have anything. It is to have this Clandestine, that the movement speed it is increased by 0.3% for 5 seconds every time you kill a monster, up to 12%. So I have 4 out of 4, which means that we have 48% movement speed buff on this character. Also, I have like another substat that I really advise you if you can get it, which is the Extend. The monster now have 9% chance of exploding upon that and dealing 100% of their HP. Is like boom, they just blow up. If you don't have this substat, don't worry, most likely just put like the Seared. I always mention this one because like it is so good, but if you have like 4 out of 4, you pretty much it's gonna be blowing packs all over. So when it comes to the Paragon, you have like 2 choices. Personally, I am picking the Harbinger because I'm mainly taking this one. Dash's skills recovery rate are faster by 10%. Now we also have here the blur, that whenever you go into a dash, you become invisible, but it's not that that's what we want. We want this increased damage by 30%, and also the ambush is gonna be 20% more critical hit strike. We take the fate because every time you kill an enemy, it's gonna refresh it, and this keeps cycling, which is very, very good. And also we're taking, of course, here the dash ability. The other option that you can take, it is like taking all of these nodes here on the brawler. Is just going to increase your size, just going to become faster. But here, because we are using like so many dashes, the Harbinger actually makes it that it's going to be faster for you. For the legendary skill, we are taking the Death's Release, because every time your continual damage harmful effects expire, they explode, and we are always using bleed and all these legendary gems that I'm going to show you. So having this, it is absolutely great for this build. So having this is absolutely great for your build, but if your gear is still not at rank 30, hey, you gotta stick with the Vanquisher, take this top row and the Exorcism, and you're gonna be fine. Now going here into the green set items, we are using 4 pieces Vitus to increase our duration of beneficial effects, increase our attack speed, but mainly the change that I made, even though we are using a lot of dashes, I realized that if we're using the Harbinger, I don't really need to have the 4 pieces Glooms, and I kind of rather have the 4 pieces Grace, because you wanna see that the setup that I'm using, I'm having like a lot of dots. So we have the dots of the bleeds from the Blend Knight. Also, we have in like here the Everlasting Tournament. We have the burning effect from the running consequence. We also having like here the Viper's Bite, which adds another dot. And also I'm using the Void Spark, which pretty much is gonna create like this lightning chain lightning effect. And you can hit up to 8 enemies and pretty much just gonna spread your dots around. And every time like your dot's gonna hit the target 5 times, you're gonna have this extra damage, which is pretty much like a dead sentence whenever this happens. One other ones is gonna be the Mother's Lament to increase your critical hit strike, the Pain Clasp, which is also very, very good. We're gonna increase our all damage. We have the Morn Skull, increase all damage with the buff, and also attacks everyone. And if you don't have any of these gems, don't worry, you can slot in, for example, a Berserker Eye, which is very, very good, or even like the Avox, because you are always using these dashes, so it's gonna increase your damage by a lot. So you have like those 2 options. They are very, very good for this. And whenever it comes to the reforce sets, pretty much you want to go with like something like this will work for the almost anything. We have damage to demons, like attack speed duration to beneficial effect duration. You also have here the critical hit damage, and we have the hull skill damage. This will work pretty much for almost any class. You can also, even if you want to replace the all skill damage for example, damage to loss of control if you want, but for this specific build, the all skill damage, it is quite better, because like we're gonna do a lot of damage when it comes to our skills. So let me show this in action, because it is quite great. Okay, so maybe we can go and maybe like let's go into the Verge. Okay, the Verge may be like a nice place for me to show you like the strength of these. I use these pretty much every time I want to do Erebon, I want to do bounties, I want to do like anything that I need like a lot of mobility, and I just want to be fast, right? Like that's where the goal that we're gonna go with. You're gonna go here, and as you see, like I'm just gonna pretty much ignore most of the mobs, and the way you want to go here is always like go for these elite mobs, right? So we go here, we keep on dashing. And even if you are on the mobile, I play these on the mobile because I know like a lot of people say, oh my god, like if you're playing this build on a mobile, it is like completely like fingers bleeding. No, it's actually not that bad. Maybe you cannot do like as many actions per second, but I mean, I play it. It works like completely fine, man. Have in mind that whenever like you have like a big elite mob like that, just throw like 1 or 2 Ravage and you're gonna be fine. As you see here, I go here. We do a lot of damage here. Boom, this guy is dead. Let me try to find. So this is like a different way. Obviously, like if you play with Barbarian, you just like buff up, or you're like with the Crusader, you put it on your pony and you're like good to go. But here, like Blood Knight doesn't really have like things like that. So what you really want is just like just kill everything, just dash around, just do a lot of damage to them. And like, well, where are the elites, man? Where are them? Okay, we got another one here. Hopefully I'm not gonna be on the other side of the map. Sometimes like that happens. You know, like you are like so fast that the boss just spawns on the other side, and I pretty much I didn't even check like what is gonna spawn, but the problem is gonna be here in the corner. So the mobility, it is great. That's like the biggest advantage that you get from this. As long as you just go and play with the Blood Knight, it is gonna be great. As you see also here, the Void Spark does a lot of damage, but it's not like you really need. It's just like it's gonna make you like more comfortable, because I farmed like for such a long time without the Void, right? And I never like really missed it. As long as that like you keep like the core of like your build is strong, like what you really want, it is to have like those damage boosts. That's like your main thing. That's what you really want to go for. Always have those damage boosts. For example, your Berserker's Eye, your Pain Clasp, your you know, like if you have the Morn Skull, it's pretty good. You got like your Blood Soaked Jade now because you use like the third league pearls. And I mean, this is awesome, man. Like I never like actually play like such a fast build. It is just pretty great. And if I go here to the boss, also I'm gonna do like a good damage, and it's not. It is pretty done. So guys, as always, don't forget to leave a like, put cheese in the comments if you guys reach here, because you guys are the legend. Keep carrying the channel, and with this, thank you for watching. Catch you guys next one. Peace.